So check this place out. We've got Danny Burton here and Kevin. Stacy's over there. Danny, first of all, we got to get this out of the way. How do you and I know each other?
Unfortunately, we both worked with each other for years in the oil field. And kind of grew a friendship from there.
Yeah, and you've got into, so Danny works in the oil field business, seeding, mulch. You also have a hardscape business as well, and you have some Airbnbs.
Yep.
8 of them now, right?
Correct, this makes 8 of them.
Now, we just came over here. This is about an hour from our house, but this is a beautiful place right here. Can you tell me a little bit about the design and the ideas behind all this, all the history involved here?
So we were approached by Jeremy, who owns Firestone Farms and all the area around here, and he wanted to build a couple Airbnbs out here, and we had success with others. So he called us out here and told us his ideas of he wanted to make replicas of Henry Ford's house and Thomas Edison's house when they were children. And that was basically because Harvey Firestone, whose farm this is, and those two were good friends. So. Okay.
And there's two of them here. So one looks like Edison and one Ford's childhood homes, right?
Correct. Yep.
And how many square feet is this one approximately?
Right there.
About 760 square feet.
760 square feet. Now this on the wall is pretty impressive. Tell me about this. Who did that?
One of the guys that works with us, his name's John Shaw. He drew that with charcoal pencils and just sketched it on the wall and clear coated it when he was done.
That is crazy. That is that's some serious talent right there. All right, so like we said, you have 8 of these, which, you have some that are kind of in the woods. This one's near a golf course. There's a lot of things around this area right here. What are some of the things people can do that could stay here?
Well, on this particular one, we're right next to a golf course, as you said. There's a brewery right next door that's probably only 60, 70 feet away. And then there's also across the street in the Firestone Farms property, there's several restaurants and bar type atmospheres and wineries and cideries and another brewery. So there's the golf course, there's ice cream shop over there, just a number of things you can do. And they have different events on the weekends with concerts and movies and things like that. So
and it's nice too, you're in a great location. You're 10 minutes from the turnpike. I mean, you're not far from Pittsburgh and places in Ohio. Now, Kevin, you manage most of these. Is that how this works?
Right. I manage the construction and the day-to-day running of the Airbnbs.
Okay. And then how does it work through Airbnb? If somebody was looking to get started with Airbnbs, I mean, obviously it's quite the investment, but you don't have to start off with something as elaborate as this. But it seems as though the Airbnb thing has just been booming over the years. A lot of people... We use them, all our kids, whenever we go somewhere, we do Airbnb anymore. You know what I mean? But this is more than just a place to stay. This would be kind of a nice weekend getaway or during the week, but plenty to do here. How did you get the idea to start with Airbnbs? I mean...
Well, we kind of started by happenstance, really. I was looking for a place to invest other than the stock market. Not that I don't like the stock market, but just for diversification so that I had somewhere else to invest in. And I had hired Kevin to build a couple apartments for me, and we wanted to do something unique just because that was our personalities. And Kevin I've known him a long time. He actually built my house I live in. He's been a builder for a long time. And once we got started building it, he came up with the idea of why don't we make one of these an Airbnb? And this was our first 2 that we had built. We were building them side by side. And I entertained the idea. I'd heard of Airbnbs. I wasn't really familiar with them so much at that point because I think it was 2017, maybe 18. I'm not sure.
2019, I believe.
Was it?
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I had heard of them and maybe looked at them a little bit, but wasn't real familiar. And we tried it with the first 2, and we had pretty good success, and we enjoyed it. And it's actually quite a bit of fun to do it and interact with the guests a little bit. And they've really taken off from there. So we just built one after the next and kept going with it.
Kevin, as far as construction goes, how long have you been a builder?
Since 2000.
2000. Pretty challenging times though now, isn't it, as far as...
Well, with the cost of materials and stuff, it's very challenging, and it's harder to get tradespeople nowadays too. So.
Yeah, we see that over where we live quite a bit. Everyone's busy, and there's a lot of people just not getting into the trades like they used to, you know what I mean? And we struggle with that with things we're doing at home. But I do think lumber prices are starting to come down a little bit. They're saying, you know, we'll see. They haven't really caught up on a retail level yet. Do you have any plans for any more coming up here in the near future?
Yeah, we'd really like to. Our goal was to get 12 of them. We have 8 now. We have another one under construction. The trouble is it's challenging to find land right now. It's challenging to find labor, and it's challenging to afford the materials with the way they are right now. So it would be a lot harder right now to get into building one, but we would love to do more in the future. It may be a pause until things, you know, kind of calm down a little bit. But yeah, we do have plans to go more, but probably not immediately. So. 2
things that I see right away just coming over here that stand out to me. They're spotless and they're kind of unique. You know what I mean? I think those are probably 2 of the most important things to.
And I think absolutely, and Kevin probably agrees, is the cleaning crew you have, the people who clean it are the most important.
Right.
Because
they're definitely your MVPs. Your cleaning crew is everything. If you don't have a clean place, nobody's coming back.
Yeah, if you start getting reviews of a place that's dirty or you know dust in the corners, things like that, people want to walk into a place they feel like they're the first people there, and that's absolutely the most.
That's exactly how I felt when I walked in here. It's just beautiful and it's spotless.
All right, so I was talking to Kim and asking her, like, I think I've already mentioned in many of Mike's videos, I don't decorate. Like, you know, at our house we have deer head hanging in the living room. So this is beautiful. I love how this all came together. And Kim put this together, so I was asking her ideas, like, how'd you start? Where'd you get these pieces? So I'm gonna have Kim tell you that.
What do you think, Kim?
Where you got these pieces and how you put it together.
I kind of start with the basics, like picking out the flooring and that type of thing. And I just wanted something really basic that looked old, almost like an unfinished wood, you know. And then with the cabinets, I actually researched metal cabinets because back then, in the early 1900s, you know, like metal was really, so that was kind of like, it would just be too much, you know, it was overwhelming to.
But they did.
Oh yeah.
I had some stuff from my grandma.
And the Youngstown was the main company that made the metal cabinets.
Okay.
Youngstown was the
Is that right?
Oh yeah. And we're like a half an hour from Youngstown.
Okay.
So then so I came up with getting the nice wooden cabinets that, you know, they're soft close and everything, but I said no trim, no, you know, just the flat, you know, so that, and then the gray, the pewter color.
Right.
So it kind of makes you think of a plain metal, you know, nothing fancy, you know, and then I wanted the heavy duty steam pipe handles, and it just kind of evolved from there.
And everything down to like the utensils, everything's just a good.
Like this is, it's neat, it's organized, but yeah, it has it matches the theme.
Yeah.
And then she pointed out, clear down to if the family or, you know, the couple wants to pull out the crock pot, you know, after golfing all day, they come back, you can put this in the morning and come back and have something to eat, and there's other appliances in here.
Literally everything you need.
So it's not like those things aren't here, we have to go out to eat. You can just buy what you need and make it. But everything blends together well, the theme, I love it.
And Danny, we talked about just a couple other things. So we said spotless, the cleaning people are probably one of the most important things to it.
Yep.
Unique, what else did we mention?
you know, you gotta have a unique property that is in a unique location. You can't really have the same success just buying a house in town and just letting people use it, because you're just not going to get the same enthusiasm with it. So we look for unique properties, whether it's on a creek or by a lake or, you know, somewhere like this where there's a lot of activities. You know, there's breweries and there's concerts here and things like that.
And what's this building right next door?
That's the archive building, they call it. So it's called Harbell's, and it is got some Harvey Firestone memorabilia in it, and they're going to have a small farmers market in it that's going to sell some produce and things like that, vegetables and stuff like that. So it's you know, that was something that the Maples put together, and they're pretty proud of their memorabilia they have and the traditions of the Firestone farm. So
very nice. Man, I need to get one of these. This is really nice in here.
What's crazy is how well this, I mean, you look at this, still functions easily.
What year did Firestone build that?
1941, I believe it was.
So Firestone built this.
This just turns with one finger still. Yeah, so this was an anti-aircraft gun that the Firestone Corporation built for World War II. It says here somewhere that they made 20,000 of them, so it was during the war effort. And then there's some stories in the wall there of the gun and why it was produced.
Wow, that is smooth.
Isn't that crazy? That's a two-person gun, so you got one guy aiming up and down, the other guy aiming left or right, and this guy's running the trigger on the foot.
This would be a lot of fun if they weren't shooting back at you. You know?
Yeah, so
You're saying that's the trigger?
I believe that's the trigger. Now, I never got to shoot it, so.
I can't get over how smooth that
It's crazy. That's the first
that
time
operates.
I cannot believe
Imagine
it.
what that all weighs, and it just turns with a finger.
Yeah.
Huh.
And just tell some stories there about it, and you know, it's defense first. And
Yeah. This is really nice.
so they made refrigerators and vacuum cleaners, coffee pots, boat motors, bicycles. You got into all sorts of things. So this is the original barn, and that's where the big patio is sitting right out front. So the current Airbnbs are built right here. This is the brewery, same building, it's there now.
Yeah.
This is going to be a restaurant in the future, sometime this year. And right here is where the fire pits are sitting for the wheels of the car on the patio. And there's another view of it at a different angle.
$65-mile-an-hour tractor.
Can you imagine that short wheelbase at 65 miles?
1934.
Did he live to share the story, Alan?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So now, which one are we in now, Danny?
This is the Ford house. We call it the Henry and the Thomas. So this is Ford's replica.
This is Ford's. Same guy obviously did this. Very nice. The silos, you say, they're right over across the road?
Yeah, they're still standing on the golf course property at Firestone Farms.
Okay.
It was part of the original.
What's remarkable is these are both built to scale,
Right.
and they're almost the same size.
And there's about 1 foot difference in the width. The depth on both of them is the same.
Yeah,
I thought I noticed that.
that's pretty crazy. So Kevin, you actually visited both Ford and Edison's original homes.
That's correct. We went to Dearborn, Michigan to see Henry Ford's house, and we took measurements. And actually, Danny made a 3D model of the house on his phone through a computer.
Yeah.
And then we went to Milan, Ohio, to Thomas Edison's birth home, which is there as a museum, and did the same thing.
Measured everything up, so this is all built to scale. Even I noticed outside, like the copper gutters, all that stuff is
Everything's to scale. The whole house is within an inch, and it's amazing how close both these houses are in size to each other.
yeah.
And we did everything. So if you see flaws in a house, it's because there was flaws in the real house.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Except
So we are over by Salem, Ohio now, and these are your first ones, right?
Yeah, correct. These are the first two we built down here at the bottom. We built them simultaneously. We were just building originally rental properties. We were just going to rent them out, and then Kevin, about halfway through, convinced me that we needed to upgrade them a little bit and make them Airbnbs. And with that, when you're doing an Airbnb compared to a rental property, you do obviously a lot more amenities.
This is a really nice setting here, really pretty back in here. And those were the first two down there, and then you built Dreamcatcher.
Yep, and that was the third one. So it went just 1, 2, 3, and then we moved on from there. And we've built them.
Very nice.
Yeah. The water's coming down it now, but not a whole. It's beautiful when it rains.
It's steep though. You got to watch. There's some spots that are pretty.
I'm gonna step over there.
And again, John's the one that did that rope work, the one that works for us, the Artsy one. Really, John deserves most of the credit for all this.
This is our first swinging bridge ever. The Amish built it for us.
It's a second.
What do you mean?
We have to redo it.
What happened to the first one?
Engineering was a little off.
It's the same bridge. We just didn't have the deck there yet. We thought we could attach this directly to the house.
So this is definitely just a one couple thing here. There's only one room essentially with a separate bathroom.
Yeah.
Now is that concrete stamp?
Yeah, and then neat.
Yeah.
That guy that went from, would look like a barn beam type thing. That's
Yeah. I like that. Check it out, Tom.
All right, so we're in our last stop here. This is in Garrettsville, right?
that's right. Yep.
Garrettsville, Ohio. This is a beautiful place right here. You're going for the schoolhouse look, basically, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Really nice. But you guys did a great job on this. How long ago was this one built?
It's been done since December. Construction was complete in December, and we had our first guests in. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. The view's really nice. It's a cool little town. We just had lunch down the street. And then tell us about that Nelsonville Ledges.
Yeah, Nelson's Ledges State Park. It's a state park that's only 5 miles from here, 4 or 5 miles, and there's some trails. I don't know how many miles of trails there are. It's a small state park, but there's a lot of really super cool rock formations there and some really dramatic views for as small as it is.
Well, I appreciate you guys spending the time today showing us around and everything, but I'll put a link in the description for all your Airbnbs, and
Awesome.
we'll add some pictures and things, but I think it was good information for people. Videos like this, someone's going to get something out of it somewhere, even if they're looking at building a rope railing, or they're looking for a cool golf cart, or they want to get in the Airbnb business. There's something in here, and that's kind of what the point of this video was. It's a little different what we normally do, but you got to give a shout out to the guy that does all the woodworking though, and the same guy that does the pictures does all the woodwork, right?
That's right, and built a lot of the furniture and gathered, curated a lot of different materials from my family farm and just reused stuff and really did a good job of utilizing it, putting it together and making it work. So.
Man, he does nice work.
Like all that wood there is from the top of my dad's barn. So.
Is that
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, guys. It was a nice way to spend the day, and
Thank you.
thanks for everything.
Yep, thanks, Mike.